try to be a little, try to see a light in the dark. Try to give a little, try to be a little, try to see a light in the dark. Try to give a little, try to be a little, try to see a light in the dark. Oh, we can't, we won't let go. Keeping the light on ain't easy. Keeping the fight on for so long is hard to do. For all the times you feel the way, there might just be a better way.
We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land. The Portland area rests on the traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapaya, Molalla, and many other tribes who make their homes along the Columbia River, creating communities and summer encampments to harvest and use the plentiful natural resources of the area. We wish to acknowledge the robust present-day federally recognized tribes of the area, the Grand Ronde, Siletz, Cowlitz. In addition, we would like to acknowledge the Chinook Nation, which has been seeking federal recognition for many years. Today, these vibrant, diverse tribes and communities celebrate their heritage, showing resilience and tenacity.
I'm going to be singing a land acknowledgement song. It was brought forth by John Fisher Price, a cisgendered white man. I walk this land whose ancestors have been driven out by greed. And I walk this land whose ancestors were massacred by people that look like me. What can I do now that forests have been paved, mountain names have been changed? What can I do? I'll face it and feel it, 'cause time hasn't healed it. I'll face it and feel it, 'cause time hasn't healed it. And call upon the winds of change. And call upon the winds of change. So we would be remiss if we did not mention Sonia Massey. So I'm going to say her name, and I would like you to repeat after me. Say her name. Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And we welcome you here this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we gather to hold this space and this knowing that every one of us is a creation of the infinite. This ground of being and this world in which we live and move and have our being reminds us daily as we open to that message that we are whole, infinite, and complete. As you can tell, the order of service is a little changed. So if you're looking for what we usually hear, I just invite you to be open to the change. Anybody experiencing a little change right now on the planet? It's really good for us to get used to it and to take it in and breathe it and say, oh yes, change, this is good. I want to welcome the Portland Lesbian Choir. They are seated all around you. I know some of them are out in the audience, and we are so blessed to have you here. Thank you for your music. What a gift. You know, the Portland Lesbian Choir has been sharing their music and their message since 1986. That's 38 years of standing in a truth and sharing that. And we are the blessed recipients today of that energy and that knowing. And we gather as Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. Some of you have been here a long time, some of you haven't, but our message and our belief is that that divinity, that wholeness, that light, just as the light we light for every service, is within every being everywhere. There are no exceptions. There is nothing but that light in us. And our journey as spiritual beings having a human experience is to allow that light to shine. So we welcome all of you here this morning. I have heard that the live stream is not working, and I realize that I'm not welcoming our virtual family yet, but it will be posted on our Facebook page as soon as this is over. So all of you who are hearing it later, we welcome you, we love you, and we're so grateful you are joining us. And we have our opening prayer today by Sherry Lawrence.
The Great Spirit, the great mystery, the ground of all being and the source of all that is. In all things above, below, without, and within, we recognize the infinite intelligence that animates, creates, sustains, and releases as energy, as light, and as love. It is all good. Knowing that we are an integral part of the creative, we affirm how the good, the universal intelligence, is in all experiences and expressions. As we come together, may we affirm love, openness, and the ability to perceive the highest good emerging in our lives. May we have the willingness to be willing to see that everything we need to fulfill the present moment is within us now. Some of it is simply waiting to emerge. We are grateful for this opportunity to cultivate community and co-create together a world that works for all spiritual beings in physical forms. We are thankful for the evolution of God within our lives. And so it is.
And so it is. And I believe right now we have Dixie going to share the announcements with us. Beth is still gone. Thank you, Dixie, for being here and caring for us.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dixie, and I have a few announcements today. As always, I will start by announcing and welcoming our prayer chaplains for the day. Annette and Sherry are here to pray with you. And they will be available after the service if you feel a need to pray after the service. We also have prayer requests that you can find in the backs of your chairs. If you would like to place one of those in the prayer box, they will hold that for a month as well and pray on you. We have dial-a-prayer as well, so you can dial in on any day of the week and get a new prayer that will uplift your spirits and put you in a better place. And as well, we have Sunday meditation at 10:30 in the chapel, where you can cool your jets and find your calm before the service. So we offer that as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful 20 minutes of quiet and calm. Today, in addition to conducting the service, the LGBTQIA+ group will be meeting in this space after the service for a regular meeting with allies invited and anyone who has any questions. It's sort of a Q&A, Drew tells me, and I'm sure you will be inspired by the service, and you're welcome to stay after for that meeting. The YOU continues to sell beautiful Unity t-shirts out in the lobby. Please pick one up for just $20 before they run out. I'm remiss and I need to get mine before they don't have any more to sell. We have a call to action to get out the vote. And it's just gotten more important and more exciting. Now's the time to do what you can. We have letter writing packets available in the lobby. And I encourage you to send out some letters asking people to exercise their right to vote and make a difference in November. You can also contribute to that effort. If you're not into writing letters, you can help by buying stamps or contributing money to purchase those stamps. Tickets go on sale next week for our next garden party, which is a really exciting one with Larry Wilder and his merry friends joining us for bluegrass music again. And that was a crowd pleaser last year. Be sure and join us for that. We're also looking for help with setup and takedown and some food items. So those signups are in the lobby and tickets will be on sale next Sunday. Don't miss it. If it's your first time joining us today, I hope you got a welcome packet when you came in the door. If you did not get one of these packets, please raise your hand. We're not going to tackle you and make you stand up here or anything. Get one of these from our ushers. There's somebody in the back. Great. And be sure to fill out the neon card that's on the back. That will get you on our mailing list and keep you up to speed on all of our fun events and important gatherings. There's also a rose sticker on the front that you can put on your lapel so we know to welcome you, especially today. Please join us for Coffee and Connection Hour after the service downstairs. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dixie. We're so grateful for all of you being here. And those of you who are new and this is your first time at Unity, we want you to know wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here, and we honor that path. As we walk this journey of creating a larger story for humanity, which is really where we're moving, this idea of a larger story, all of us are a part of that. And we're a vital part of it. And sometimes we hear, oh, I'm not, I am, I'm not. You know, and the wrestle inside is to know that we are. And that ability to do that is so important. So if this community works for you, if there are things that you hear that inspire you and remind you of the truth of your being, I encourage you to become a part. One of the most important things we can do is allow our consciousness to join with another consciousness that holds that same idea and continue gathering together and knowing that truth. And we'd love to have you become a part. If this community does not work for you, we encourage you to find a place that does, that says, I know who you are a being of light, and encourages you to share that and move that, because that's where we're moving, is a larger story. So we're grateful you're here, and we are going to have a different experience with our congregational song today. We're going to be sung to. If you notice, Portland PLC is all the way around the room, and so as I understand, and they're going to stand and sing to us, and I invite you to take in the love and the light that they share, and then they will lead us from there. Wow. And I just invite you to turn to those around you with a handshake, with a welcome, with a namaste, and say, don't let anyone ever tell you you're anything less than beautiful. It's amazing what happens when we get to show up and say, I know who you are, and we connect in that. So often people say, we didn't want to stop greeting others. We recognize that light that you are, that we are, and what a blessed opportunity for all of us to do that. In just a moment, we're going to move into a time of meditation, and then we'll hear a little song and then move on to our message. And I just wanted to share with you one of the gifts of this Sunday, and what has me in tears is the evolution of our community. Many of you don't realize it, but for the last, 7 years, we've done a Pride Sunday with me doing the service. And it's been one of education on what are the Stonewall riots, what are the pieces, what are the things. For a community to move from that to our group doing this service, I just want to say what a gift it is and how grateful I am. Just thank you to this team who has spent so many hours doing this. And now we're going to move into a time of meditation. If you haven't made a practice of having daily opportunities to get quiet, to breathe, and to remember that that light is within you, there's a cellular remembering that happens. So Sherry Lawrence will be sharing this meditation.
Welcome, beautiful people of the center, to this sacred and expansive present moment. I invite you to bring your kind and loving attention to your body sitting in the chair. Notice how that feels. Take a moment to scan your body and really feel into its sensations. If there are places of tightness, tension, or discomfort, I invite you to bring that loving attention to those places, breathing into them, inviting them to soften, release, and let go. Be sure to bring your love and gratitude for all your body does for you. Now bring your attention to the miracle of your breath. Whether we're lost in thought, driving, watching television, or engaged in an animate conversation, Our bodies continue to draw in and release the breath. Just notice how it is doing that now. Some people notice their breath most easily at the nostrils, other, the rise and fall of the chest or belly. Allow your attention to rest there, wherever it is easiest for you. Bring to your noticing a sense of curiosity and focus, as if you had been the intention to describe it to someone later. Breathing in, we arrive where we are. We ground ourselves in the present moment, putting down any baggage we are carrying from the past. Breathing out, we settle. We settle into this breath as it moves through our body, grounding us and supporting us in this eternal present moment. Breathe in, breathe out, and notice. If you get lost in thought, come back lovingly and patiently and repeat. Breathe in, breathe out, and notice. Thank you, beautiful people of the center, for your gracious attention.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you, Susan. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for making this happen today, everyone that helped make this happen. This is a great opportunity to cultivate community as we close out Pride Month. So last weekend was Portland Pride, where Unity Spiritual Center got to go have a booth and represent there at Pride. Today on stage, we are representing the Unity Affinity Group. My name's Anna, she, her pronouns. Hey, River, what is an affinity group?
It's a safe haven.
Safe haven.
It really is. We are a fellowship of individuals linked by a commonality, a deep desire to find home in the skin that we arrived here in, under the rainbow spectrum of existing. We are here to foster safety and belonging for the many intersections of gender, sex, and sexuality. Affinity, defined as a spontaneous or natural liking or sympathy. A similarity of characteristics suggesting a relationship. And even in the most basic biological terms, it's the degree to which one substance tends to combine with another. Because we are still not seen and treated as a natural and integrated part of society, we need to create spaces of similarity where we can combine and experience the natural safety that comes with knowing we are in a sympathetic relationship to each other. Like Unity is a pocket where people know they belong within the greater community, the Rainbow Affinity Group is our pocket within Unity where we know that we belong.
Two-spirit, lesbian,
Gay.
bisexual, transgender,
Queer.
Intersex.
asexual.
Plus. Thank you. Like I said, it was an absolute honor to be part of the booth last weekend with Reverend Lisa, the Affinity Group, and allies. We all spent the weekend hanging out. Am I still on? Yeah, there we go. We spent the week hanging out, talking to individuals, couples, youth, that all, we were sharing the message of unity, the love and belonging that we have here. The Portland, the Pride Festival, the theme this year was Feast and Love. So that's why we were collecting all the recipes from you guys. So we handed out recipes with the invitation to today's service. We also asked folks to write down one thing they love, feast and love, on our tablecloth here. At the booth, we also had a forgive and release box to unburden ourselves. What is it that we need to forgive? And what is it that we need to release? I know in the queer community, there are several things, right? So we are gonna take those prayers, wrap them in a prayer bundle, have a fire ceremony, and release them to Pachamama. Okay, I also wanted to show you this booklet here. If you guys haven't read this booklet, we handed out about 150 of these things. All the stories in here are testimonies from queer reverends and teachers that have all experienced some sort of religious trauma, found their spiritual path, and healed. Very, very powerful works in here. And, you know, those were the stories I was hearing at Pride as well, right? Like people that had grown up in faiths, grown up in families that somehow told them that they were less than, somehow did not accept them for their authentic self, and sent them walking farther away from their spiritual path. So it was really wonderful to connect with those folks last weekend and say, that's not quite the story we have here at Unity. My story here at Unity, I came through the doors about 2 years ago. I want to say thank you to Unity for welcoming me. I walked through the doors and I was told I not only was welcome, but I had a place here. There was service for me to do. There was, you know, people loved me for exactly who I am. So this has become not just my spiritual community, it's become my chosen family. I don't have much family, and so it's important to cultivate community, especially for me. And that's why it was so important for me to be at the booth last weekend, is other folks that don't have a lot of family or have been rejected, that there is a place at the table for them as well, and there's a place in here for them as well, and just to say that we all belong.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. Well, contrary to popular belief, I don't do this as a living, so bear with me. I just want to say good morning to everyone. My name is Mari, and that's my chosen name. And we're going to have time after service, so if you want to talk to me, I welcome you to come and have a conversation and let's connect. I was going to tell my coming out story, but I chose to share my words and thoughts with you this morning. And I call this questioning. When you look at me, who do you see? What is your perception of me? Do you see me? Do you really see me? Am I old, young, a serious person? Someone that appears to be happy? Do you know me? Do you really know me? Do I appear transparent? Are there things about me that aren't apparent? We pass on the street and you never look at me. What have you missed? I tell you I'm a lesbian. Now what do you think? Do you think I'm less than? Am I less in your heart and mind? Do you want to change me or save me? Or do you want to know me? I'm a lesbian, and I have many identities. I'm a woman. I'm a Hispanic American. I am a mature woman in that time of my life. I'm a mom and a grandmother. I'm an aunt. I'm a business partner. I'm a storyteller, a teacher, and a student. I'm a helper and a caretaker. We all have many identities, but they don't define us. But I want you to know this also, that they don't define you either. We are all children of God, or whatever you call the divine. We are all created from stardust, butterfly wings, pure energy. We are all love, light, and spirit. I want to close this with a quote from Crazy Horse. I salute the light in your eyes, where the whole universe dwells. For when you are at that center within you, and I am in that place within me, we shall be as one. Just remember, we all belong.
Wow. Well said. We are both bearing witness and co-creating a reparative experience. We are finding words for how to explain holding a space or creating fertile ground to allow each other to emerge as our magnificent selves. Most of you have talked to me across a name tag Sunday table. I usually wear a reusable name tag. I go by Drew, and you can use she, her pronouns for me. And yes, it is my chosen name. Safety and belonging are not just personal skills to cultivate. They are community skills. And as we co-create this community, let's nurture fertile ground for fluidity, inclusivity, change, and emergence. One of our tools for co-creation is language. Language is a way of identifying, and communicating about ourselves and what matters to us. I have engaged many of you in the ritual of contemplating the name you share with our community, using in reference to you, or if you would rather us not use pronouns for you at all. I skipped a couple words. I apologize, I'm a little nervous. The value of self-identification as an evolutionary practice is one that Unity attendees and everyone who comes through this door into this space know the power of, even if you didn't label it as such until now. Each of those identifiers is a unique and powerful thread. My endurance at this spiritual center, my presence, my offerings of walking Reverend Lisa's vision and commitment to have us be at the Pride Festival, my offering a quarterly opportunity to make a reusable name tag, and just by being visible amongst you, are ways that I have shown inclusive spectrum thinking, and that our rainbow woven fabric can have both the thread of queer community members that is transformational and sturdy enough to be the warp for the weft of the threads of attendees and our virtual family, at home in the assumptions made about their gender and seeing the world through the heteronormative lens. When we weave these warp and weft together in community, we co-create a fabric of belonging. It is slow, diligent handwork that creates a flexibility in our fabric. Safety and belonging are not just personal skills to cultivate, they are community skills. Our LGBTQIA community affinity group is using these interwoven rainbow heart pins. When we wear them here at Unity of Portland, we are showing that we are part of this group and that we're willing to talk and engage with you about our group. When we park them on the bulletin board next to the reusable name tags and participate in the community without the woven heart, we're working on our personal healing. You could think of this kind of like the prayer chaplain's stole. When Sherry's wearing her stole, I know that I can approach her for affirmative prayer. When she's not wearing it, I know that I need to check in with her on a more personal basis and honor her boundaries. My heart needs the claiming of an identifier to be not just tolerated with an eye roll, but honored and embraced. And here in this community, that fabric is woven of both folks under the LGBTQIA umbrella and attendees that do not identify that way. If we know that love is love is love, which grows more love, then we as a community can become aware of the spiritual intelligence within the human bodies around us, and we can challenge ourselves to grow in parallel with each other. So what if we all do like Ram Dass says, and treat everyone as if they're God in drag? We belong.
So I like to use my voice. So I'm going to use my voice for a second. Make my voice be a strong and resonant vessel for love, for truth, for healing in this world. Make my voice be a strong and resonant vessel for love, for truth, for healing in this world. Thank you. That allows me to center. I appreciate you indulging me. I'm not sure I'm ready to do this sermon. Or maybe this is a testimony. I don't know what it is. But here I am. I've been avoiding doing this, what I call a sermon, because it takes courage to stand here in front of you all and see all your faces, all your beautiful faces. I know most of your faces. We've met at service, we've met downstairs, we've met singing together, we've met at Pride Booth. You know me as Finn, but my God-given name is Phoenix Rakai Lamborn. And I'm going to do something really vulnerable. I'm going to share my spiritual journey, how I got here at this place in time. It's been a journey. I feel as if I am alive for the first time. I am embodying my full, authentic self today. If you want to label me, you can call me transmasculine. When we talk about transgender folk, we often talk about medical transition, using the right pronouns, introducing ourselves with the right pronouns, gender-affirming care. But what we forget to talk about is talking about our full, authentic selves and the spiritual journey that got us here. How I got here is a beautiful series of events. I was born to parents, one Mormon, one Lutheran. I was raised with strong gender roles and an intense flavor of stoicism. And I went to church every Sunday. Even when the rest of my family stopped going to church, I still went to church. I grew up on the sacrament of communion, the body and blood of Christ, and I loved Jesus. I loved his teachings. I loved the Sermon on the Mount. I loved Mary and Joseph. I loved the story of death and rebirth. I loved the story of Mary Magdalene and Mary's Magnificat. I loved the birth of creation. I loved the slaves being liberated from bondage. I loved the Psalms. I loved singing the Psalms. But the instructions from the institution of church, or their version of how to live a Christian life, didn't fit for me. So me and the church wrestled, like Jacob in Genesis. But we wrestled for more than one night. I went to Pacific Lutheran University. There I studied theology and was blessed enough to be surrounded by liberal theological minds that were for the first time teaching liberation theology and feminist theology and women's spirituality. When I graduated, I wanted to go to seminary. I wanted to be a pastor. But at that time, in 1991, if you were openly gay or lesbian, you were not allowed to be ordained. So after long conversations with my spiritual director, Susan Briel, about whether to stay in the church, she advised me to leave the church while the conversation about whether or not gays and lesbians were whole and complete children of God was had. So I left the church. And in 1995, Jesus knocked on my door. She came as a 5-year-old girl named Harmony, needing a safe place. She also had a brother named Rocky. So for the next decade and a half, I dedicated myself to being a safe, supportive, and nurturing place for these two human souls. And then to my surprise, I became a parent again. In 2015, Spirit led me to a newly formed community called Wilderness Way, started by Solveig Nielsen Gooding, a Lutheran pastor, and Mark Douglas, a phenomenal musician and composer I had played with at college. We practiced Sabbath, Jubilee, and Shalom. We worked on freeing ourselves, undomesticating ourselves from the chains of consumerism. We protested together, we organized together, we shared manna and Jubilee, what we called communion, together. We lived in community. We gathered in people's homes like the early Christians. We walked under the canopy of trees. We loved and laughed. We cared for one another's children. It was beautiful. And I felt called to ministry again. This time my vision sharper and more clear than when I was 21. In 2015, the Evangelical Lutheran Church had just started ordaining gays, open gays and lesbians. So I walked back into the church, praying the wrestling had stopped and that maybe there was a place for me at the table. I was accepted as a candidate for ministry, and serendipitously, the Lutheran Church had just started a program for synodically authorized ministers, where you didn't need a Master's of Divinity to begin ministering. I became the mission developer of a new ministry called Queering Sacred Spaces. I was meeting with folks in the queer community who were looking to find a spiritual home. I was doing communion in the streets of Portland. I was organizing a queer spiritual community. The community was forming. Queer folk, straight allies, transgender folk were starting to gather to hear new ideas and interpretations to the theology we had grown up on. We were trying to become a Jesus community, much like Wilderness Way. But the booklet on how to live a Christian life didn't align with who I am, so I withdrew my candidacy. I went into the wilderness for 7 years. I worked hard during that time, rehabilitating a land on Whidbey Island, praying someday it would become a place of spiritual retreat for those needing refuge. I thought I was done with the church, the institution of church. But I found myself thirsting for community, for spiritual community and song community that felt like home. Wilderness Way had disbanded, and I found myself on a deserted island during COVID. I was alone. I was hurt and angry at the church. I burned all the Bible encyclopedias I had been given. I burned all the different flavors of Bibles I had collected. Except one. The one my parents gave me at confirmation, the first time I felt called to ministry. But I did keep my favorite theologians: Mary Daly, Rita Brock, Bishop Tudu, Eckhart Tolle, and my favorite, Carter Hayward, an open lesbian ordained in the Episcopal Church who talked of the erotic as power, the love of God, and right relation. I felt like the lame man sitting in front of the temple in Acts. But after lockdown lifted, a friend, Lucille, who had been part of my inner circle of queering sacred spaces, brought me to unity. My eyes were opened. I felt like I could see again. The message of love and belonging and emergence quenched some of my thirst. So me, being me, asked if there was a choir I could sing with. So I started attending regularly, singing with the choir, and I got to listen to this new divine flavor of divine love, affirming that I am a whole and complete and divine. When I was taken aside by someone inferring I could not be my full, authentic, emerging self, I went into flight mode. I ran out the doors, crying, feeling again like the lame man sitting at the temple doors, not allowed in, destined to live in isolation, without community. But I wasn't alone. A beautiful being had witnessed the interaction and followed me outside and listened to me cry about being outside the temple again. Deemed again not to be living in accordance to the proper rules. But they brought me back inside and made me feel safe and heard. Reconciliation was sought, and I didn't exclude myself. I kept singing, I kept showing up. And I found this community, these folk. All these human souls who've been sharing some of their spiritual journey with you. Lisa Barrett Kelly, she, her, who couldn't be here today, a chaplain. Sherry Lawrence, also she, her, also a chaplain. Anna Keene, she, her, showed up with her beautiful self and keeps showing up with her powerful self. Mari Prater, she, her, who wants you to look beyond our appearance and into our hearts. Thea Taylor, our wise elder reading the powerful land acknowledgement. River, new to unity, but shows up as their full, authentic, whole, and complete self. And Drew Rain, our rock star, the holder of space. And George, who will wrap us up here in a few moments. And the Portland Lesbian Choir. The Portland Lesbian Choir, who shared their gift of song, community, inclusivity, and talent, led by Mary McCarty, and accompanied by Evan Paul, and all of you, the beautiful rainbow of all of you. There are lots of firsts for me here right now. There is lots of emergence happening. I am coming out as transmasculine for the first time in all areas of my life. I am telling people my God-given name for the first time. I am learning about the divine feminine and divine masculine for the first time. I'm learning how to meditate. And I'm asking myself, what is mine to do? That is emerging. I want to be a servant. I have seen so many of you all serve, whether here at Unity or in the choir or to your fellow companions. I am Christian. Fuck. It's in my body and it's in my blood. I am a wild Christian disciple. I am a follower of Jesus, the way shower. And these new thoughts, this new thought church, has me really intrigued. This year at Unity, we've been doing a deep dive into belonging. Every week, we hear about some aspect of belonging. This smaller affinity group has been taking a dive as well, examining how we belong in relation to one another and in relation to the larger community. All of us here, all of us gathered here, are an affinity group. We have something in common. We are a safe haven. We are the warp and the weft. We are part of the fabric of this community. And I want to be among you, working side by side with you on important things. And we're at a time in history where we're all being asked what is ours to do and help the world emerge to be its beautiful acorn, the blueprint of what this world should be. Because love is love is love that begets more love, as Drew's cue cards told us. I want to be part of this community, part of these affinity groups, coming together for maybe the first time, but hopefully not the last. Everyone should have a community like this. Everyone. The warp and the weft. The one body, the one humanity. Where everyone is welcome at the table, a big rainbow of belonging. Because we all belong.
So I want to invite you all to just take a second to breathe this all in. As I think back on all the reflections, the experiences, the thoughts, the identities, the parts of ourselves that have been shared, I think about how this openness affects one of the definitions of affinity shared by River, the degree to which something tends to combine with another. For many of us in the queer community, the search for belonging in all of our identities, in all of our authentic selves, can be a really tough road, especially when we're talking about spiritual community. It's really special for us when we find affinity in communities such as this one, where we feel invited in. Unity Portland is a place that offered the invitation to belong authentically to each of us. We want to return that favor. I personally use and like the word queer, even though sometimes it is used in fear and it is used as a means of separation. But what I have always felt drawn to with the word is the definition that I heard when I was very young of being odd or different or unusual. Because really, I kind of like feeling odd and unusual and different. And I really seek safe places to be odd and unusual. And I want all of us, if you'd like to close your eyes or take a deep breath and think about how there's probably a place in your own life where you feel odd or unusual, where you might not have felt welcomed in, parts of ourselves that we may have felt if people knew we would not be accepted. And what I would like us to do as we take this breath, and if you'd like, it could be a little challenging for some of us. I like to ground myself by putting my hand on my heart. And as you think of these parts of yourself, we offer affinity to you in our unique and sometimes odd combination. As you welcome us into community, we welcome you to feel part of our queer community because we all belong. Thank you.
So, this is the time when we offer our love. I use the spiritual practice of tithing. We tithe our time, our talent, and our treasure. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we call it a love offering. In the back of the chair in front of you, there is a white card like the one I am holding that shows the different options. It may also come up on the screen for our virtual family. We invest in the ideas that we desire to see lived in the world. I'm going to say an affirmation, and then we're going to affirm it together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
Tell me your story and I'll tell you mine. I'm all ears. Take your time, we've got all night. Show me the rivers crossed, the mountains scaled. Show me who made you walk all the way here. The pain. When you're ready, we'll turn the page together. Open your heart, it's time we celebrate who you were, who you are. We're one in the same, yeah. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are family. I chose you, you chose me. We're all one now.
We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family.
So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are our chosen family.
We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family.
Wow, thank you, thank you. And you are our chosen family. Thank you for offering your souls, your hearts, your lights to all of us and to everyone in this room right now. If organized religion has ever made you feel less than whole, any of you, I want to apologize right now because it was wrong, it was fear-based, and the truth of who you are, wherever you are, is that you are the light. You are the universe becoming aware of itself, and as we join together in that consciousness and that light, we let go of those old ideas that have bound us. That's who we are. We are that common family. We are love. The quantum field that we live in is pure love. And in just a moment, we get to have an act of love as we sing our youth in. Now, you may say, oh, who are they? I don't know them. What our job with humanity is to hold them as the light and the love. So I invite you to allow the love that you are to create an energy field into which they walk because their hearts and souls know it. And so we're going to sing our youth in.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
This has been a very busy morning. There's been lots of action and lots of movement. So we're still doing it, okay? Okay. Tell them your name.
Hi, my name is Wyatt. What we did today, we read a Dr. Seuss book. I don't remember the name.
Walk it in my pocket. Huh? Walk it in my pocket.
I guess it's called The Walk It in My Pocket. And it was about things it's pretty much like about friends you do like and friends you don't like. Right? And also how to become a friend.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Today in the YOU group, we just talked about power and how power is used. And then also regarding our t-shirt sale, we are selling shirts right outside the door back in the corner there. Thank you for being our lovely model. We have Large, extra large, and double extra large left, if you would like to purchase one. If there's interest in more t-shirts, we will order more t-shirts. Yes.
Thank you. And thank you, Sahel, for sharing your inner power at the Portland Pride at the booth this weekend. She was wonderful, moving out and sharing who she was. We have the opportunity now as a community to stand and to sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin with Me."
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it be
Oh, yes, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. I want to thank the Portland Lesbian Choir, all of our LGBTQIA plus group that shared. We are going to do our unity prayer in a moment, but remember, you're all invited downstairs to Connection Hour at 12:45. The LGBT group will be up here just to offer some of their wisdom and their ideas. And let's see. And next week, Mark Stanton Welch will be sharing his ideas in truth and in song. The week after, I'll be back sharing Standing Strong and the idea that we can stand strong in these truths. We're going to close with our unity prayer, and then I'd invite you, as the Portland Lesbian Choir gifts you with a song, to just stay seated, and we'll sing our youth out. And our unity... Is that, yes. Okay, here we go. And our unity prayer is, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is swell. And as our youth are sung out, just enjoy the gift from PLC.